Imagine you are lying on the cold pavement. Your breath is shallow and jagged. You look up and see a dozen faces staring down at you. They are not moving. They are not helping. They are simply watching you fade away into the gray mist of death. This is not a nightmare from a horror film. This is the terrifying reality of human psychology in a crowd. You are witnessing the death of empathy. You are experiencing the theater of silence. This phenomenon has a name that echoes through the halls of social science. It is called the Bystander Effect. It suggests that the more people who witness your suffering, the less likely you are to survive. The story of our collective shadow began in the year 1964. The setting was a quiet neighborhood in Queens, New York. A young woman named Kitty Genovese was returning home from work. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. A man followed her from the shadows. He attacked her with a knife. She screamed for her life. Her voice pierced the silence of the night. Lights flickered on in the nearby apartment buildings. People went to their windows. They watched the struggle from behind the safety of their curtains. The attacker fled when a neighbor shouted, but he soon realized no one was coming to her rescue. He returned to finish his dark work. For over 30 minutes, she suffered. 38 respectable citizens heard her cries. Not one person called the police during the brutal attack. They stayed in the shadows of their own indifference. They let her die alone on the street. This tragedy forced the world to look into a mirror. What researchers found was a chilling mechanism within the human brain. Scientists named Bibb Latan and John Darley began to peel back the layers of this social paralysis. They discovered that the problem was not a lack of character or a missing soul. It was a mathematical division of responsibility. When you are the only witness to a crime, the weight of the world sits on your shoulders. You must act or live with the guilt. But when there are 10 people, you only feel 10% of the responsibility. When there are 100 people, your personal burden shrinks to a mere 1%. تقول لنفسك إن شخصا آخر سيتصل لطلب المساعدة. تعتقد أن شخصا أكثر كفاءة في طريقه فعلا. هذا هو انتشار مسؤوليتي. إنه فخ نفسي يحول مجموعة من الأشخاص الجيدين إلى جدار من حجر. فكر في آخر مرة رأيت فيها شخصا في ضائقة في شارع مدني مجهول. ربما كان مسندا على حائط. ربما كان يبكي بهدوء. هل توقفت؟ أم هل نظرت إلى الأشخاص المارين بجانبك لترى كيف كانوا يتصرفون؟ هذا هو الطبقة الثانية من الفخ. إنه يسمى الجهل الجماعي. في لحظات عدم اليقين يبحث دماغك عن إشارات من البيئة. أنت تنظر إلى الغرباء من حولك. إنهم يحاولون أن يبدوا هادئين ومتماسكين. إنهم ينظرون إليك ليروا ماذا كنت تفعل، لأنه لا أحد يبدي رد فعل بإلحاح. يستنتج المجموع كله أنه لا حالة طوارئ. تمرون جميعا بجانب رجل ماش لأنكم جميعا تنتظرون شخصا آخر ليظهر الخوف أولا. أنتم جميعا تنظرون إلى مرآة لا تعكس سوى كتبة الأمان. الأحاسيس الجسدية لهذه حالة شديدة. قد يرتفع معدل ضربات قلبك. The physical sensations of this state are intense. Your heart rate might climb. Your palms might grow damp with a cold sweat, yet your muscles remain frozen. You are experiencing evaluation apprehension. You are terrified of being the person who breaks the social script. You fear the judgment of the crowd. What if the person is not actually hurt? What if you look like a fool for intervening? This social fear is often stronger than the biological drive to save a fellow human being. Your brain prioritizes your social standing over the life of another. It is a dark trade that we make every day without realizing it. We would rather let a stranger perish than risk a moment of social awkwardness. This behavior is amplified by the environment of the modern city. Stanley Milgram called this the urban overload theory. Your brain is bombarded by thousands of stimuli every minute. The roar of engines, the flash of neon lights, the sea of anonymous faces. To survive this chaos, you create a shell. You narrow your focus. You learn to ignore the peripheral world. This sensory shielding makes you blind to the needs of others. You are not being cruel. You are simply trying to keep your own mind from shattering under the pressure of the crowd. The more people there are, the more you retreat into your own internal fortress. You become a ghost moving through a world of other ghosts. There's a biological component to this silence as well. Your amygdala screams that there is a threat. It wants you to run or fight. But your prefrontal cortex looks at the crowd. It sees the lack of movement. It suppresses the alarm. This internal conflict creates a state of paralysis. You are trapped between your ancient instincts and your modern social conditioning. In that moment of hesitation, the window of survival for the victim closes. The body language of a bystander is a study in avoidance. You tilt your head away. You fix your gaze on your phone. You adjust your pace to match the rhythm of the people around you. You mimic the indifference of the collective to hide your own internal panic. You become a part of the machine. If you find yourself the victim in a crowd, you must understand how to break this spell. You cannot scream for help into the void. The crowd will only stare. You must point your finger. You must pick one person out of the mass, look them in the eyes. Tell them that they in the blue jacket must call an ambulance now. By doing this, you collapse the diffusion of responsibility. You place the entire weight back onto one pair of shoulders. You break the pluralistic ignorance by giving a direct command. You turn a spectator back into a human being. It is a manipulation of necessity. It is the only way to shatter the theater of silence. The truth is that we are all capable of this coldness. We like to think we are the heroes of our own stories. We believe we would be the one to jump into the water or run into the fire. But history and science tell a different tale. Your humanity is a fragile thing. It is easily crushed by the weight of a group. You are a social animal, and the desire to belong is often more powerful than the desire to do what is right. We are all potential bystanders. We are all witnesses to the suffering of the world who choose to stay silent because everyone else is silent. Do not let your mind remain in the shadows of these psychological traps. If you want to understand the dark secrets of how we influence each other and how to reclaim your own agency, you must continue this journey. You need to be aware of the strings that pull your behavior from the darkness. Ensure you are part of our growing circle of observers by subscribing to this channel. Ring the bell so you are notified every time we peel back another layer of the human mask. Leave a comment below and share a time you felt the pressure of the crowd holding you back. Your awareness is the only weapon you have against the silence. Stay vigilant. The crowd is watching, but you must be the one who sees.